Hey friends, Megan McIntosh here. Welcome to this video. I'm sweating actually. I literally 5 minutes ago got in from a bike ride and it is so hot today. It's amazing. I'm so happy. So went out for a bike ride and I kind of lost track of time, so I'm just like rushing back in, and so that's why my hair's all back, because yes, I am sweaty. I'm sweaty from that ride, but it's a beautiful day, so I thought it'd be right to go for a bike ride. And even though, you know, it's late on, hey Susie, nice to see you. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. If I'm not, definitely, you can always send me a message and let me know how to say it properly. So it was a beautiful ride. I'm so thankful that the weather is finally getting to be summertime. It's just amazing. So hope you're having a great time where you live and you're enjoying the spring/summer weather, unless you're in Australia or the other side of the world where you're probably flipped on everything. We're still in lockdown here, so just being outside is such a pleasure and such a joy. Hey, good to see you. So today I'm going to talk to you about how, let me see, what is it? I wrote it down. Oh, so good. Where are you based, by the way? Where are you based, Susie? Are you based, well, let me know, because I can't tell, because it just shows the comments here. I'm in a suburb of Toronto, just west of Toronto in Mississauga, but I won't be here long. I'm actually going to be going up to my cottage. Yay. Oh, in Boston. So you probably have similar weather to us. I know when I lived in New York City, literally the temperature was almost exact, but sometimes it was maybe 5 degrees warmer in New York City. So you're probably having the sun and feeling happy that the weather's nice. So we're going to talk about, you love Toronto? Oh, good. Yeah, I love Toronto too. I'm actually originally from Toronto. I was born actually in Toronto in a place called Etobicoke, but now it's merged to Toronto. And I grew up in Mississauga, and I've actually lived all over the world. Not all over the world, but I lived in the States for a while, in New York and California and London, England and Glasgow and a few other places. And then I ended up coming back home to be close to my family, because my family's all in the Toronto area. Today is a perfect day, the second warm day of the season. It totally is. It's so nice. Oh my gosh. And I'm excited because I'm going to be going to my cottage. I'm hoping this weekend. I'm actually getting vaccinated tomorrow for the first time, and so I'm a little bit nervous about that, but I figured, okay, just do it. So it's happening tomorrow, and then after that, it's my first vaccination, because in Canada we're a little bit behind the States in terms of our vaccination. So I'm going to get vaccinated tomorrow, and then and then I'm hoping on the weekend I'm going to go up to my cottage, which is about 2.5-3 hours from where I live, and it's by Lake Huron, and it's just a small town, and I think it's just going to be good to get away from the city. I don't mind living here, but it's just when this weather comes, I just want to be up at the cottage, and because I can work with just a laptop and my phone, why not, right? So today I'm gonna get, sounds great, thank you. Hopefully, I'm hoping it works out. So, how are you outsourcing your power to social media platforms? So I'm gonna explain a little bit about, I came up with this title, I'm like, is anyone gonna know what the heck I mean by that title? So I'm gonna explain what I mean by that title. So if you're building your coaching business or a service-based business, health business, whatever it is, if it's a business that you're trying to build online, you know that there's two income producing, more than two, but a few income producing activities you can do, right? Marketing, right? Putting your content out there, really giving value-based content in different social media platforms right now. And sales, where it's more a personalized approach, where you're doing outreach, you're doing direct outreach. So one of the things, my expertise is both. I've actually been a sales leader and manager, and I've gone into companies and trained sales teams, but I've also been a marketing director at a music company where we sold Grammy award winning composers into film and TV commercials and that kind of thing, and documentaries. So I've done both marketing and selling. But I would say that the majority of my career has been in sales. So I've done a lot of networking and reaching out to people and, marketing campaigns as well, but mostly selling. And so when I came online, I built my coaching business by the selling route, right? So I had a fairly okay social media presence simply because when I was in the corporate world for 15 plus years, I had to build up my network on LinkedIn, on Facebook, mostly LinkedIn and Facebook. I was using Instagram more for fun. I wasn't really networking on there, mostly Facebook and LinkedIn. And so I was building up my network. So I did have a big network, right? I'm not going to lie and say that I started coaching with a small network and only 100 of friends. I had thousands of people in my network simply because that was part of my job, is to build my network and get to know people. So I will say that I did have a head start there. You always want to know people's backstory, right? Because a lot of times people say, oh my gosh, how do they have success so quickly? Oh my gosh, how are they able to get clients? Well, oftentimes, if you look at their backstory and what their background is, they might already have experience in what they're doing. So my experience was always build a network, right? So I did have a network. My Facebook network would have been thousands of friends already when I first got into coaching back in 2012. And same with my LinkedIn. I would have had thousands of people in that network. So just remember that, right? That was way back in 2012. So when I first started coaching in 2012, I did Coaches Training Institute back in, now it's called Coactive Training Institute, back in 2011. And I got all my clients by sales. Okay, so every single of my first clients, probably the first 10, 15, 20 clients maybe, probably, were all through selling and direct outreach and tapping into my network. And so what I see a lot online is you can't get clients unless you know your message, unless you are marketing properly, unless you're putting this many posts out on social media, unless you're doing this many videos, or you're on Instagram and on your Facebook and you're on LinkedIn. And I'll have to disagree 100%. Obviously, it's helpful if you know your social media platforms, if you know how to market, if you know how to brand yourself. But a lot of people don't really know about branding when they come out of the gate. Or maybe they do. Maybe they, have a good eye and they're like, oh, I need to make really pretty Instagram tiles and do different colors here and I use these type of fonts, right? But unless if you come from a brand strategy or marketing or advertising background, which is another bonus, I came from the advertising industry where I spent years going to Cannes Advertising Festival in France, where literally it's a conference basically on the best ads in the world. So every year I would go to this conference to find out what is the best ads in the entire world, right? TV commercial ads, print ads, magazine ads, interstitial ads, anything that was selling, right? So a lot of the advertising industry would go to France every year, and I did that 9 years in a row. So I was in that industry for a long, long time. And the big brands would also come down to France for that. And we would have by the Palais, which is in Cannes, you have all the hotels, and then you have this walkway. The Croisette, it's called the Cannes Croisette, and then you have the beach, and they would have tents up on the beach, and there would be parties all the time and networking. So Google would have a tent, Yahoo would have a tent, a big music company would have a tent. And so during the day you would go and network with people, and then also at night they would have these parties, right? So there was this really famous party called Massive Music. They're actually friends of mine because I used to sell advertising space, and they were one of our advertisers. So we would go to this huge, massive music party, and they were famous in Amsterdam for huge composers and musicians, but they have offices all over the world now. And so they would have a party, and advertising agencies like Saatchi and Saatchi and JWT and if you Google these are big advertising agencies that have lots of money. So I would go to this festival to find out about the latest in branding. But most people that come in the coaching world, they don't understand that you have to learn all this. You need to learn how to brand yourself. You need to learn how to look good online. So people are like, oh, do I trust this person? Do they look put together, right? Obviously, it depends on the brand you want to make. You might have a specific style that you want to come across. So I don't say you have to be buttoned up in anything. You don't have to look perfectly and primped. But I am saying that, you have to know who your ideal clients are and what their expectations are, and also how you want to come across with your brand, right? I would say, my style, the way I come across is definitely who I am personally. I want it to be all of me the way I come across in my business. So I like to use blue colors on my feed on Instagram. And I wouldn't say like I'm super fancy, but I would also say that I have all different styles. Actually, I'm a very eclectic styled person. But anyway, so I guess, I don't know how I went off on that tangent, but I did. That's what I do. And so you've got to do the marketing, right? You got to do the branding and you got to do the selling. I didn't have the marketing and branding when I first got clients. Now, people knew who I was, and so a lot of my first clients were in the advertising industry, were in the creative professions. My first client ever, was this my first client? I believe it was actually a director. So a guy that was directing TV commercials and feature films and stuff, maybe not feature films, I think documentaries. And he came to me because he wanted to learn marketing and selling because he was going freelance. So a lot of, just a little bit more information about the Hollywood and industry I was in. So a lot of directors that, say you're a feature film director, a documentary director, you direct TV commercials, or even if you direct music videos, you're often represented by a company, right? So if you look on movie credits, you'll see a production company, and usually those production companies will have a roster of directors. So, and then you can represent directors as a salesperson. So I actually represented not directors, but I represented music talent at one point in my career. So anyway, this guy was a director, and I think he was moving in between two production companies. He was trying to decide which one to sign with, and in the meantime, he wanted to expand his clientele in terms of the type of content he was going to direct. I think he wanted to get more into documentary than not just TV commercials. Although TV commercials are like very lucrative. If you're a director, you can make a lot of money in TV commercials. You'd be surprised. So most people focus so much on marketing, especially everything that I see online. Everything is like, master your message, clarify your message, make sure that you know exactly who you help, make sure that you know how to say your like one-liner elevator speech and all that kind of thing. And like, people stress about this. People stress about their I help statement so much, right? They don't get the right I help statement. Oh my God, they can't even start reaching out to people yet, right? And I would say, you don't need any of that, right? It's kind of like a secret, but you don't need any of that. I have changed my title probably 100 times. Sales coach, sales expert, sales mentor, sales, like everything's different. Marketing coach, video marketing expert. Like I've changed that title, my Instagram bio, 1 billion times, right? You don't need to have the perfect bio. You don't need to have the perfect tagline. You don't need to have the perfect title for what you are. People don't care when they hire you, right? What do they care about then, right? I think I probably made up a title when I first started pitching myself, but I wasn't like, I doubt they looked at the title, right? What the key thing is, can you help someone? Can you help solve a problem for someone? That's basically it. And so it's really your ability to connect with people, build relationships with people in a fun, creative, non-pushy way, and then figuring out, hey, do they have, can I solve their problem? That's basic. And if you can solve their problem, and if you can show them how you can solve their problem with your value, and this could be literally on a phone call, right? You don't need to do like 10 value-based posts on Facebook, or you're doing the top 10 tips or whatever to solve someone's problem. You can figure that out if you want to, like, if the fastest way to get clients is selling, not marketing, especially with the algorithm. And that's what I want to talk about, is really the algorithm nowadays is so brutal, right? So if you're on Facebook, I mean, in all the Facebook groups, it's like, oh my gosh, my posts aren't getting the reach that it used to. Oh, I feel like nobody's seen my posts. It's 100% true. Like 2 months, Instagram was having a algorithm problem, and everyone was like, what's going on? My viewership has gone down on my stories. What's happening? I feel like people aren't seeing my stuff. And now it's Facebook. I've noticed it. Clients have noticed it. People that I talk to in the industry have talked about it. Basically, like I don't know what's going on with the algorithm, but it's nutty. So don't be upset or worried if you're noticing that the Facebook algorithm or the Instagram algorithm is like not showing your content. So what does that mean? If you're only relying on your marketing, and I'm not saying don't get good at marketing. I mean, I took a whole program last year about how to get really good at copywriting, right? Which luckily I took it. So if you coach with me, you don't need to take that. I will give you all the advice. But I took a whole thing on how to write copy for posts and that kind of thing. But just because you write a bang out post that's amazing doesn't mean everyone's going to see it. So what do you do to make people see it? What do you do so that you don't give your power away to social media, right? How do you, not worry about that, right? And I don't worry about it. I don't worry about social media at all because I know it's going to swing back. But I also know that I'm always in control of how much money I'm going to make, how much clients I'm going to have, because I'm consistently selling and marketing. I'm not just relying on my posting and my videos and creating content. I'm consistently selling at the same time. And I know I talk about what selling is, but I'm going to say it over and over and over again. And why it's so important is because if you do a little bit of selling every single day, it's going to catapult your results. But if you just, the only reason why people burn out of selling and they don't do selling is because they get excited for it, and then they get overzealous with it. And like, I'm going to reach out to 100 people today. Don't go crazy, right? Not that that's going crazy. And sorry if I took that out. I shouldn't have said go crazy, right? Because that's maybe not saying the word right. So this is what you do for selling, okay? There's two parts of it. Part number one is engaging with other people's content. That's it. That's the first thing, right? So if you want other people to see your posts, if you want people to like start saying, oh, I think I know this person because she's kind of commenting on my posts. Believe me, we are people that want people to see our posts, right? I don't care who you are, but if someone likes your post or makes a really good comment, you're like, oh, who is that person? What did they write? Right? So just like, how do you feel? You get that like dopamine hit or serotonin hit? I don't know, one of those. And so that's the number one thing is you've got to engage with people's content, and you have to make sure that you're connecting with people by engaging. It's a very discreet way of, doing sales. My battery is dying. Oh my goodness. It's because I took it with me on my bike ride and it went like to 50%, and this battery on my iPhone always just like goes down so quick. So I'm going to talk probably faster. I'll just speed up my talking. Why not? Woo! Okay. So yeah, let me state what I was going to say. Okay. So engagement. So just commenting on people's posts, loving and liking people's posts, but also commenting on people's stories on their Instagram. What's cool about that is it goes direct to their messenger and their Instagram message area, so that when you you even do like an emoji, it goes into their messenger. I always like to do like a sentence or two when I'm commenting on their story, because then it's like not just an emoji where they can like your emoji back, like, oh, thank you, like that emoji. If you do a proper sentence, then they're gonna feel like, oh, I should kind of write back a sentence, right? Because it feels weird for someone to write to you and you're just like cricket. So that's engagement. So I want you to think about, and you do not have to do this all by yourself. You can get people to help you with this, right? My VA does my engagement for me, not for you, for me. So engagement. And the other one is connection and reaching out and building relationships. And there are so many ways that you can do this. I'll give you one way that I do it. I send out videos to people on their birthdays with this, I'm not going to say what it is because it's kind of a surprise. And if it's your birthday, I don't want to like ruin the surprise, but I put this whole little sequence that I put out, where I send a video and then I have a surprise for people on their birthday. It's pretty cool. And it goes to their email. People are like shocked. They're like, oh my, I got this message from this lady today. She's like, oh my gosh, that was so creative. That was so cool. We need to talk. And she literally, we booked a call to do a connection call. So that's how easy it could be. I haven't talked to this person in Facebook for probably ever. We're friends on Facebook, but you know how it is. If you have like a lot of friends on Facebook, you can't get to them all, let's be honest. And so on her birthday, I said this really creative thing that I came up with. And if you work with me and you want to learn really creative sales strategies, that's what I'm really good at, is coming up with like cool things to engage people and really personalized approach. And so anyway, she's like, we got to get on a call. This is so cool. Maybe you can help me with stuff. So it's really connecting in different ways. Like that's one example of how I connect with people on their birthdays. And another way is, when people join this Facebook group, maybe I'll send something to them. It really depends, right? So there's different ways that you can be creative in your personalized outreach, because the difference between the difference between sales, sorry, I'm getting a little bit lightheaded. The difference between sales, because I'm talking so fast, because I'm thinking about my battery. Difference between selling and marketing is selling is so personalized. That's what's so fun about selling, is you can personalize it, you can make it special. You don't have to reach out to 100 people, but if you're consistently reaching out to a little bit of people every single day, that adds up, right? And the idea is to get them in conversation and just get to the next step. It really is, sales is about getting to the next step, because it could potentially take 7 to 12 touches before someone buys from you, which is interesting. So I was watching, I did this mastermind last year, and I was watching my mentors' interviews with people that did their mastermind this round, right? I was in a previous round. And so she's great. And so I was following her content in her Facebook group, and she interviewed 2 people. She interviewed more, but I watched 2 people that she interviewed. And in the interview, she said, what made you decide to join my mastermind? Literally both of them. One of them said, I've been following your stuff for 6 months in your Facebook group. I've been watching your Instagram for 6 months. One of them. The other one said, I've been following you for a year and watching your stuff for a year. That wasn't like they saw one post and they bought from her. That's 2 people that joined her mastermind, her high level math. Yeah, definitely 7, 8, and it could be 12 touches too, right? So it is a lot of touches. Both of them said they've been consistently consuming her content. I want you to drill this into your brain, because a lot of people are like, oh, well, look at her. Like, her success is so big. 2 of those clients that did really well in her mastermind that she chose to interview, out of the 3 people, she interviewed 3 people, and 2 of them had been literally consuming her content minimum half a year, and then the other person for a year. So that's why it can take time to build that relationship. So if you're just putting content out there, but you're not doing the sales part and you're not doing both at the same time, you're gonna miss out on so much time, right? So if over 3 months, you're reaching out to, I don't have my calculator with me, but let's just pretend you reach out to like 1 person a day, minimum, right? That's 30 people a month. Like, I would say reach out to more than that, okay? But if you're reaching out to 10 people a day, that's 300 people a month, right? Just think about that. Like, that is a lot of touches. If you reach out to 3, 6, 900 people in 3 months, you're golden. Like, come on. Are you telling me that if you wanted to get 10 clients or 30 clients, you wouldn't be able to convert any of them? Of course you are. But the problem is, so many of us don't know how to do selling in a creative way, because we don't want to be sleazy. We don't know how to reach out to people that's fun and interesting. Like, most of us don't. I do, because I've been doing selling for my whole career. But I'm like being so weird. I'm like, yeah, me, the best. I'm just joking, but I'm not. And I'm being so weird today. Oh my gosh. I'm like, whoo, I'm sweating still. I feel like I need to turn the light on. It's getting dark in here. Like, the sun was so hot, and now it's gone. What's good, there was a fly in here, and I couldn't get rid of it, and now it's gone. So you have to think about this long-term relationship, especially if you're selling long-term coaching, right? Especially if you're selling something that's like a big package. You really want to think about, I am cultivating relationships with these people. Also, the person that was telling, like, my coach, this previous coach that I had that did this mastermind, I was the same thing. I didn't just buy her after her seeing her launch her mastermind one time. She went through the launch phase of launching this mastermind at least 3 times before I bought from her. So I was probably watching her for 6 months as well. I might have even been watching her for a year. I'm actually not sure how long or when I started watching her, but it was a long time. Same with my current coach. I have a one-on-one coach, and I honestly watched her for 6 months. And I tried to sign up with her last May, and she was booked. And so I only just started working her at the end of this January. So like, I had been like literally like stalking the girl for a long time before I bought from her. So it's true. This is what people do, especially because there's a lack of trust. There's a lack of like, is this person going to be like me? Are we going to be similar in our energies? Or do I like that person's energy? I was talking to someone, and she said, She was such a calm and peaceful energy. I love her, my friend Jessica. And we were in the mastermind together, and we would get on calls. Opposites always attract, right? And she said, oh, your energy's awesome. And I'm like, oh, like sometimes I feel like I'm like, ooh, all over the place. She's like, no, because and I'm like, but you're so calm. Like, you're like my yoga teacher. Like, so you're so, I relax in your presence. It's amazing, right? She just has such a calm voice, and she's also British. This is my friend. And she said, I'm the opposite. Like, I like coaching with someone that's like high energy because it gives me that energy. And I'm like, oh, isn't that interesting? That totally makes sense, right? So you have to love who you are and your style. And not everyone is going to love my style, right? Not everyone's going to be like quick like I am, right? I talk fast. I have a lot of ideas. I spit out of a lot of ideas when I'm coaching people. I'm like, what about this? What about this? I mean, not like that fast. And I just like, my brain works in a very like fast-paced way. And, but I also, I don't know, I'm just me. I'm just the way I am, right? And so some people are going to like that energy. Other people are going to say, no, it's too intense or too high, like, whoo, right, for me, and they want something slow. So everyone's different, and so I want you to own who you are, because coaching is so unique. It's different than being in the corporate world, where, not that you have to put on a mask, but sometimes you do want to be a little bit more professional. But with coaching, I'm going to swear sometimes on calls, because I want to speak with my clients the way I am with my friends, because I want them to feel like when I'm hyped up or when I'm energized or excited, right? So let's just go back to the topic, because I'm going to wrap up now. Thank you so much for watching all my little roundabout ways of going through this live stream. So please, 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 don't like take everything that you see online with a grain of salt. You might say, oh, I don't have the right brand right now. I got to fix that. I got to make that perfect. Oh, my Instagram feed isn't perfect right now. Or, oh, I'm not putting enough posts out. I don't really know my message. I don't really know, how to say this. Oh, I'm not a good writer. Don't worry about any of that. If you work with me, we are literally going to help you become a sales master, right? We're going to help you let go of any limiting beliefs about sales and understanding how to make it fun for you. Like, I will make it fun for you. On my LinkedIn, it's hilarious. My previous employee wrote, and she's like both of them were like, she's fun, right? Because I had to manage sales teams, and I have to tell you that is one of the hardest jobs you can do, because sales is basically like dialing for dollars a little bit, and you're doing repetitive things, and you need to be inspired. And so I always tried to think sales fun for my team, so that they were excited to sell. And so I think that this is something that a lot of people aren't excited to sell anymore, because they're so focused on their marketing. But if your marketing doesn't always work right away, right? Like I said, that example of that coach that they were saying that they signed up with her like 6 months to a year later, is that marketing takes time, right? It can take time for your clients and potential clients to see your expertise, to really know who you are, to feel your energy. And so selling and learning how to sell and learning how to like connect with people like really quickly and build rapport really quickly, which is what I love to do and what I'm really good at teaching, and specifically in your messaging or in the way you're reaching out to people, or just in the way that you're like engaging and building those relationships. That will get you sales quicker. Like, believe me, it will get you fast sales, because you can really build that trust quite quickly, rather than waiting for someone to see your post, or hoping someone's going to see your video and hoping that you're saying the right message to them at the right time, right? Like with marketing, you have to say the right message at the right time, so someone's reading your post and like, oh yeah, like I'm dealing with that problem, right? But you might write a post on sales and they're like, I'm good with that. But then the next post, they might say, oh, that's what I need, right? You don't know which post is going to resonate with the person. But if you're doing personalized selling and a personalized approach, which we definitely need now that the algorithm is so all over the place, you don't need to worry that what you're saying is not resonating with them if you do the process of selling properly, where you really get to know someone and you understand what they're struggling with, or you understand their problems that they're facing, and maybe you can help them and how you can help them. So that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching the replays if you're watching the replay, and thank you so much for watching live. I wanted to let you know that if you're wanting to get on a call with me, I have a sales sorcery strategy session that you can do with me. It's an absolutely free call. I give you 100% value, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, I feel weird like getting on a call. I don't know. Believe me, I know a lot of people get nervous to book calls, but I'm gonna give you like 100% value, and this is not a call where I'm gonna be like hard selling you. At the end, I'll say, hey, if you wanna work together, here are options, but I'm not gonna make you buy something. No, I wanna look at your sales process. You're welcome, thank you. I'm gonna look at your sales process with a fine-tooth comb. That's what I do. Like when I was a management consultant, I even went into startup companies and businesses and looked at their sales process and marketing strategy, and really looked at it from cold lead to sale and seeing where are there areas that maybe is missing and getting bottlenecks in your business. Like you could get you could have leads coming in already. Let me see here. You're my company for my evening walk. Great to know you help with sales. Awesome. I'm so glad I could join you on your walk. That's awesome. So good to hear. So yeah, so that's what I have a background in, and that's what I do with my coaching clients. I really get them to have fun with sales, like be joyful in selling and marketing. And so with the sales strategy sorcery call, you're gonna leave the call with at least 2 actionable things you can take away for your business, like to do for you, so that you're gonna feel like, oh my gosh, I can literally apply this to try and get leads. And that's what we'll do together. So I will put the link in the comments here. Once again, it's an absolutely free call. It's going to be packed full of value, and it's going to be specifically for you, right? I'm going to ask you what you're dealing with in your business. So there's going to be a questionnaire in advance. And so what that helps me is it's almost like it's not like it's a little bit of a coaching call, but it's more like it is more a strategy call, right? But obviously I'll know mindset blocks because I also have a, background in mindset and understand that kind of thing. So if I'm starting to see mindset stuff within that call, I'll let you know. So if you're interested, I will put a link down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.